Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy Northside Plow with Pop One Podcast, here with another deck profile from our team player, Alexander VALIDO.
What's up?
My man Alex went out to a regional today at Van TCG in Ridgeland, Mississippi, and he ended up going top 8.
Yep.
How was your day today, man?
It was a very, very fun day. Just a good day altogether. After Nats playing Snake Eyes Fiendsmith, I just didn't want to do that for today. I know it's like the start of the new format, but one thing I've never done at a regional level is top with rogue deck, so that's something I really wanted to do today, and I'm really happy to say that I did that.
Yeah, happy to say you did that. So you've been testing a lot for this. You've been going to your new locals over in Picayune?
Yep, the one in Slidell has unfortunately shut down. We have a new shop in Picayune, Mississippi, which is kind of close to the Slidell, Louisiana area. But yeah, playing a lot, mostly playing with Tyler. Talk about him a lot in these videos, but he's my main playtesting partner. And yeah, just...
Right on, man. So today's match is it's basically the first regional of the season. We just got out of Nats. World's coming up soon. How did it feel today in modern Yu-Gi-Oh?
So this deck is very strong. The only thing that's really holding this deck back, in my opinion, is the fact that Snake Eyes is still a deck. The U-Bell isn't too much of a problem. The Tenpai is not too much of a problem. It's really the Snake Eyes specifically. There was one match I was able to stop my opponent's entire, combos, but they had Fiendsmith to top it all off.
Yeah.
And it's just too much,
I get it. Well, before we get into the profile, let's shout out our sponsors, Dueling Guard. Yeah, Dueling Guard is your one-stop shop for your TCG accessories, your binders, your deck boxes, play mats, and anime art cards. You guys can check them out, and when you check out, make sure you use code POP1 for a 5% discount. It helps players like Alex get out there with some really good accessories, and it helps our team just move forward in a good spot. And they're also really good people, good, genuine, quality products. So you guys be sure to check them out. All right, Alex, let's get into the profile.
So kind of how I wanted to do this profile is I wanted to show off the different ways to play. So you start off with your starters and you have your extenders. The way I like to play this game in general is I'm very big on card economy. I like to draw a lot of cards, have more cards in my hand than my opponent. It's very important, especially this format, when you play against decks that are very consistent and can do a lot with one card, like Snake Eyes and everything. This card really only has 12 true one-card starters, and then I max out a lot of 2-card combos that you can do as well, so I'm going to showcase that now. So for starters, 3 Refrain. This is a searches any Melodious monster in the deck. A lot of time you search the couplet, I'll show in a second. 3 Asinato, that's the brand of fusion of the deck. 3 First Movement Solo, which special summons any Melodious from your deck. What's cool about this is a lot of times if you open Refrain, you're going to summon out the Aria Diva, and that's going to allow you to kind of play, not worry about Imperm, Mourner, or Veiler. And then I do play the Desires instead of the Prosperity. I like Desires a lot more because a lot of times just having extra cards in your hand is more impactful than having the right card that's in your hand. Since you play Orange Light, since you play the Link Melodious monster, you need that extra card economy to discard and just have maximum advantage. So that's why I kind of went with Desires over Prosperity. It's not the best starter, but there are some times where that has to be your starter, and you'd be surprised how often that gets you into the game and allows you to win. This wins me more games than it loses. I know sometimes you could banish 2 of your fusers or just all of your arsenals or anything like that. That's kind of the risk that you have when you play Desires, but the risk just greatly outweighs the reward. If I had to put this like in a time span versus when this was good versus bad, this lost me maybe 1 out of 10 games where it wins me 9 out of 10. So definitely Desires over Prosperity this format. If Snake Eyes was to get hit, it'd be a different conversation. Maybe we talk about Prosperity over Desires, but right now we need just maximum card economy.
Okay.
A lot of times what you search is you search the couplet. This is also a pseudo extender because it searches the concerto, and that's like a weird extender. But since you're playing pure, you're not playing this as an engine, you're able to fuse with this because you can also use your pendulum scales. So say your Refrain gets Imperm, you scale this here, you search this and you do that, you're just able to go full combo from there because you're able to get the Baka from the extra deck. Something that not a lot of Melodious players are doing that I like to do is I like to do 3 Sonata. This card is really good because A, it helps close out games, and B, it's an extender. A lot of times you need that extra body to make the Link Melodious monster, and just having this free special summon, it allows you to win more games. They stack. It's not once per turn a special summon, so very often I'll have 2 of these on the field, and I'm just trying to close out a game turn 2, and having 2 of these gives all my fairy monsters 1,000 attack, and not a lot of players can play through that, quite frankly. Additionally, this is a once per turn special summon Conan. It's the level 4, so it's very important to have boost to play in case something happens. It's not as good as Sonata, but the fact that it's a level 4 comes up, plus it's just a 4th extender. But that kind of goes back with my theory of talking about having maximum 2 card combos when your 1 cards just don't do it all the time. Because although you have 12 decks like Snake Eyes, they have, 16 to 20. It's just, the map just doesn't map. They have more starters than we do. These are really engine pieces: 2 Sopranos, 1 Diva, and 1 Chopina. Chopina is really the only brick of the deck. A lot of times when you open this card, it's just dead, and it's just super unfortunate to see. You don't love seeing these cards in your open hand. This one isn't terrible to see because you can pendulum summon it or whatever you need to do with it. But this is really the worst card to see in your hand. These aren't terrible, but it's not the worst, I guess. 1 Call By. This was originally a Talents. I'm really glad I played Call By over Talents. I think if I would have played Talents, I wouldn't have topped today. Call By put in a lot of work. I Call By an Ash whenever my first move with solo needs to resolve, and of course going second to a Snake Eyes board. It doesn't do everything, but being able to stop the Promethean Princess or whatever the case may be, it just puts in the work, and it guarantees that you get your combos going first. Now, as far as the hand traps go, we do play 15. So you obviously play 3 Imperm, play 3 Veiler. Those are your effect negations. There are 2 hand traps specifically that is the reason why you want to play this deck. The first one is Herald of the Orange Light. The fact that you can negate destroy with this thing, it's an incredible feeling, right? Of course, Ash Blossom. And then a special card that, is pretty new. It's 3 Dominus Purge. Dominus Purge is pretty much a pseudo Ash Blossom. I see a lot of times in different of the Facebook groups that you don't want to play Ash Blossom and Dominus Purge. That is absolutely terrible logic. If you open both of these, you just simply activate Ash Blossom first. And Dominus Purge is kind of a skillful card because if you open it, obviously you can set it, but there are times where you want to keep it in hand to play around like a Lightning Storm or Harpies. But there is absolutely no reason to not max out on Ash Blossoms and Dominus Purge. If your deck can play it, play it. This is one of the few decks that can play it. So yeah, you play it. You get to play 6 Ash Blossoms. No other deck can do that. For the extra deck, let's look at the Melodious monsters. You just need 1 of the Bloom. You can recycle it off of the Fuser whenever a special summon, so it's okay to open. This is probably my most played extra deck monster. Every game I go into this card, this is the best Melodious extra deck monster. It turns on so many combos, and it guarantees you to have the full board, and also thins out your deck to the point where if you do open the Desires plus any other starter, you're able to get max consistency to see as many hand traps as possible from that Desires. 2 Shuberta. This card is probably the most impactful card of the day. Being able to triple DD Crow, one time against a Snake Eyes player, I was able to triple DD Crow his OSS that he was trying to get draw off of Wanted, his Oak, and another level 1 Fire, which completely turned off his Flame Burge. This card is just incredible. 2 Flowering. Really, the second one doesn't come up too much, but sometimes in those grind games, it's just important to have. Same thing with 3 Baka. You don't really want to play more than, Melodious monsters because this card and first move solo locks you into Melodious monsters, so playing a lot of them is not bad. And then finally, the Bloom Diva. This is pretty much just your Tempai out. If you get shifted, you make this card, you Asinato, you send Chopina and another Melodious monster, and you just sit on this. So under shifter, your opponent cannot activate Droplet. It literally puts them on have to have Imperm. This card cannot be destroyed by card effect, cannot be destroyed by battle, and destroys any monster inflicts damage that they that's the difference between the 2 monsters' attacks. There was a Tempai player today that just read this card and was like, game 3, because this card is just you have to have imperm. If you don't have imperm, there's no point in continue play if you're a tempo player, even under shifter. For the non-melodious monsters, you have to play the one gravity controller for the extender in case your combo gets interrupted. Haggard Lizard, this card gives you the free board space to draw and also free up your board to activate the Ostinato and the first movement solo if you need it. This card's really good. I kind of am coping on wanting to play 2 of this, but my round 7 opponent I played against Runic, and this card put in so much work. It just cleared his floodgates, and it was probably one of the more valuable extra deck monsters. SP Little Knight because you have to, Baguska because sometimes you have awkward game states, and then any deck that can play Prosperity, I know I don't, but any deck that can play Prosperity should play Typhon. And this deck is one of those decks, so you should play Typhon. For the side deck, the first 7 cards went into my side deck every time. Obviously 3 Moch. This card put in a lot of work. What's great about this card is it does one of 3 things, right? It either gets you to draw a bunch of cards, which is what you wanted to do. It either makes your opponent make a suboptimal board, which one hand trap, that's what hand trap is supposed to do. It's supposed to make your opponent have a suboptimal board. Or 3, it makes your opponent pass. So I understand that this card could be any other card, but the fact that this card kind of plays a mind game on a lot of people and forces them to play awkwardly, it does a lot more than just draw you some cards. This is a very great hand trap, and if you're not playing this on your side deck, you should definitely be playing it. Then I play the Gamma package. More than Gamma, the Deltas were just super impactful today. I Delta people like crazy, and no one was playing around it. It was easily the MVP as far as the side deck goes. I did play 2 Ghost Sister and Spooky Dogwood. I don't like playing this card, but the Snake Eyes Fiendsmith combos just take way too long. You can play Bloom. This deck does have a time card, but the reality is that the Snake Eyes deck can play a 1200 burn, and we have a 500 burn. We just can't keep up with the tempo of it, so I went with Spooky Dogwood for today. 3 Cosmic for any Runic variant. And then finally 3D Barrier. This really is just a Tenpai card. You flip this, called Synchros. That's all it's there for. We're in a heavy Tenpai region, so I wanted to make sure that I had 3 of that because I felt like I didn't have a choice.
Well, all right, Alex. It seems like you know what's going on with this format. And you brought something that not everybody's playing. So I know that really feels good, and I know it feels good when your opponent sits down with the most expensive deck as all get out, and then, you play something like this, and it shows that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has a little hope, you know what I mean? And that's what I see out of it. I see the fact that you can bring a deck like this and go top a regional, that there's a little bit of a light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, I wish I could take a deck like this to a national or a YCS and do that, but maybe in the future, we could do that. This is just, this is one of my favorite decks. I'm a huge fan of any mid-range combo decks, and I'm glad I was able to take this to a regional and kind of top.
Definitely, and this is the first of many regionals this year. And then YCS is coming up soon, and then we'll run it all again with another nationals. I think this season's gonna bring a little bit of cheer to all of us, especially the older Yu-Gi-Oh players and the newer ones. We're still waiting on that ban list in August. Hopefully it does a little bit to help with some of the problems that we have right now. Yeah. But to you, it doesn't really look like we got any problems, huh?
No, we have a lot of problems. I don't know, Snake Eyes needs to be addressed. It's been around for far too long, and I really think a good ban list, and also some limitations to the other popular decks, like Tenpai definitely needs a hit. Yubel could use a soft hit, but you see a deck like Yubel that plays a Fiendsmith, it's just a lot more fair than what a Snake Eyes can do, and that should kind of just show you the power level of Snake Eyes.
Definitely, man. Well, I appreciate you going out and playing for us, as always. Yeah. Back in the seat once again. And we'll see a lot more from Alex, I'm sure.
I just want the next time in the seat to be a YCS top.
Let's get it, man. And the next one's going to be a YCS top, we promise. All right, guys. If you guys are new here, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. It helps us out a lot. We're almost at 800 subscribers.
Yeah, we are.
Let's get it, man. Let's go. Pop One Podcast. Thanks, Alex. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right, guys. Peace.